Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Lauren Brooks, and I am the Assistant Director of Financial Aid here at Illinois College of Optometry. Today, I'll be talking about navigating the wonderful world of financial aid. And joining me, I have Angela Nuccio, who is a first-year student. And Angela will be sharing her experience going through the financial aid process and also providing some advice and tips for us. Thank you for joining, Angela.
Thank you.
So I'm going to share my screen here and get started. Again, we'll be talking about navigating financial aid and some of the steps that we'll talk about through navigating the financial aid world are applying for financial aid, seeking scholarship opportunities, and also loan repayments. I want to share with you all this video, which is an overview of the financial aid process from the Federal Student Aid Department of Education. So let's share this video. So one of the most important advices that I would give is making sure that you don't take out more than what you need for financial aid. So the first did not mean to do that. So the first step to financial aid is actually applying and completing your FAFSA application. You can start filling out your application as early as October 1st for the upcoming school year. One of the most commonly asked questions that students ask every year is, do I need to complete my FAFSA every year? And the answer is yes, you do need to renew each year that you are in school. You'll also need to create an FSA ID. And so some of you may have already created this FSA ID number if you received financial aid in undergrad. So you'll use that same FSA ID. If you haven't done so, you can create it through the studentaid.gov website. I always advise students to do that before you start your application. It just makes the process a lot easier and prevents any processing delays. You'll also be able to utilize the Internal Revenue Service data retrieval tool. And this tool lets you securely transfer information from federal tax return to the FAFSA form and helps to save time and effort. Here I've provided our ICO school code, which you'll need as well when you are completing your FAFSA application. As long as you're eligible for financial aid, you can expect to receive full coverage for all 4 years here at ICO. What makes you eligible? You do have to be a U.S. citizen or an eligible non-citizen. Also maintain satisfactory progress. Here at ICO, you do have to have a 2.25 cumulative GPA, and also be enrolled as either full-time or part-time student. So you will have also 3 sets of questions that will be asked when you're completing your application. So the personal information, they'll ask for your name, your address, marital status, also your school code for the school that you're applying for, and also they'll ask for your dependency status. So please keep in mind that you are now considered independent when you are applying for at ICO. So you will need to select independent when you are completing your application. They'll also ask for financial information. So you will need to provide tax information for 2 years prior, and also have available any tax returns or records that show earned money. You'll also be asked for your legal parent information. Now, the only time we will need this information from you is in order to be eligible for the HPSL Health Profession Student Loan, which I'll get into in just a few moments. But your parents are not tied to this loan. Unlike undergrad, it will not affect the amount of funds that you'll receive for financial aid. But we will need that information in order for you to be eligible for the HPSL loan. You'll also need some important documentations on hand when you are completing your FAFSA application, such as your Social Security number, federal tax return, W-2s, and other records that show money earned. So once you're completing this, when you're in the process of completing this, if you do have any questions or concerns, you can always feel free to reach out to me. When you are complete, you will again need your FSA ID number to sign it electronically. So once you've completed your application, you will receive an email within a few days letting you know that your application has been processed. We then will receive a copy of your application, which is called the ICO, and we will prepare your award letter for you. So the types of loans that we offer here at ICO through financial aid, we have the direct unsubsidized loan, which is at a fixed interest rate this year of 5.3%. And you have a 6-month grace period to start paying back this loan after you graduate. And this loan typically goes towards the cost of tuition. We also have the direct Graduate Plus loan, which is at a fixed interest rate of 6.3%. You will also have a grace period of 6 months to start paying back this loan after you graduate. And you may be familiar with the Parent Plus loan if you took out financial aid in undergrad. So this replaces that loan and provides additional funds for you. So as I mentioned before, we provide the Health Profession Student Loan. Again, in order to be eligible for the Health Profession Student Loan, when you are completing your FAFSA application, you will need to provide your parent income information. There are so many great benefits to the Health Profession Student Loan. Some of them being that it is the only loan that we offer that is subsidized, so you're not paying interest while you're in school. You also have a 12-month grace period to start paying back this loan after you graduate. And this is the loan that we offer with the lowest interest rate coming in at 5% this year, and there are no loan fees. So I strongly advise students when you're filling out your FAFSA application to submit your parent income information. This can be a great benefit to you. So due to your family financial need, you may not be eligible at the beginning of the academic year, but the great thing about this loan is that we do have to use all of the funds that are given to us by the end of the year. So we'll do what we call a buyback, which means we'll replace some of your Graduate Plus loans with the HPSL loan if we have those funds available for you. So either way, you can benefit from this loan. So fill out the parent, your parent income information can be a great benefit to you. We also have the Federal Work Study Program. So with the Federal Work Study Program, this is not a loan. You're actually working to earn funds to go towards your educational expenses. You can work up to 15 hours a week. We have several work study opportunities here on campus, from working in the wonderful Student Affairs Office to working in Communication Center. There's students who are interested in blogging and photography. We also had a student who worked in our fitness center who was a certified Zumba instructor. So she utilized the work study program. Also in Beth Karmas's office, who is the Assistant Dean of Student Success, she has several work study opportunities that come out of her office from working as a tutor or academic coach. So there are several work study opportunities here on campus for you. Again, you can work up to 15 hours a week. So I want to show you guys the breakdown of the cost of attendance for all 4 years here at ICO. So in the blue is the breakdown for direct educational expenses and also a breakdown for our living expenses. So in the green, you'll find what your award letter will look like. And as I mentioned before, as long as you're eligible for financial aid, you can expect to receive full coverage for all 4 years here at ICO. And as I mentioned earlier, it's so important that you do not take out more than what you need. So when you receive your award letter, you're not obligated to receive the full amount. You can make any adjustments, you can decline any loans you feel you may not need. The decision is really up to you. We've also broken down on the award letter, you'll see all of the federal assistance that is available to you and the amount that you'll receive for each of those loans. So if you have any questions, if you want to go over your award letter together, you can always feel free to reach out to me. Again, one of the most important things that I think that you can take away from this webinar is utilizing funds wisely and not taking out more than what you need. So I have an open door policy. If you have any questions, concerns, you can always feel free to reach out. If you find yourself in a situation where you need additional funds, you can always feel free to reach out to me. I find that some students will wait till the last minute to ask. One being because they don't realize that there's additional funds available for you, and two, because they're embarrassed of their financial situation. So I don't want that to be the case for you. Know that my job as the Assistant Director of Financial Aid is to help you through the process. I know that financial aid process can be overwhelming and there's so many steps that come along with the process as well. So feel free to come and have that conversation. And again, don't wait till the last minute if you do find yourself in a situation where you do need additional funds. There is a process that you have to go through, which can take from 5 to 10 business days, sometimes even longer. And I also find that when students are in a bad financial situation, it sometimes tends to trickle into other areas of their lives. So I don't want your academics to be affected because you're in a financial situation. So come and have that conversation with me sooner rather than later. I promise you I will. I'm going to ask the hard questions, what happened, what's going on, but I promise you that it's coming from a place of care and concern, and I want you to utilize these funds the right way, but I also want you to be in a good financial situation as well. So if you do decide to receive your full amount of your loans at the beginning of the academic year, you do have a chance to return any of that unused money back to your loans. So you have 120 days from the time funds are dispersed to return that money back. Again, I will keep on repeating, if you don't need it, give it back, because at the end of the day, guess what? You will end up having to repay that money back with interest. So let's have that conversation. We'll also need for you to complete some important documentations. Please, it's so important, and I can't stress this enough. It never fails. Every beginning of each of the year, we have students that come to me and they're like, I haven't gotten my money. And I'm like, okay, let me take a look. And I'll look at the system, and sure enough, they have not completed their entrance counseling sessions, nor have they completed their promissory notes. So it's so important for you to complete these documents. Unfortunately, we cannot process your funds unless these documents are completed. So here's a screenshot of when you log into the studentaid.gov website, the top toolbar, you'll see complete aid process. You'll select the complete entrance counseling. And it's a great process because it gives you a breakdown of what your loans will look like, gives you some knowledge in regards to those loans. And it also gives you some knowledge as to loan repayments and the different options that are available to you. You will also need to complete your promissory notes for if you're receiving direct unsubsidized loans and direct Graduate Plus loans. You'll also need to sign those promissory notes as well. So again, you log into the studentaid.gov website, top toolbar, you'll see complete aid process. Make sure that you select master promissory note for graduate professional students, and you'll select both those promissory notes to sign. So again, if you only sign one and don't sign the other, it can prevent you from receiving your financial aid. If you're eligible for the health profession student loan, you'll also need to sign a promissory note for that as well, which you'll receive an email about a month before classes start from Heartland ECSI, who was our loan server. You'll receive an email from them, so you'll be able to complete your promissory note when you receive that email. So again, I cannot stress enough, make sure to complete your entrance counseling sessions and sign all of your promissory notes because you want to make sure that you're getting your money on time. So let me talk about the disbursement process here at ICO. Once you receive your acceptance letter, you will get access to the student portal, which is where you'll be able to review your award letter. Again, you can make any adjustments, decline any loans you feel you may not need. The decision is really entirely up to you. Any documentations that we need from you outside of your entrance counseling session and promissory notes, we will communicate that through the student portal. So you can upload those documents also through the student portal. I also advise students that, especially closer to the beginning of term, make sure that you're checking your student portal often. And also, if we don't hear from you through the student portal, I make sure to send emails out to students as well. So please check your emails as well frequently so that I can make sure that I give you your money in a timely manner. We have quite a few Canadian students here at ICO. So I want to go over the financing options for Canadian students. So some of your options are you can apply for a private U.S. loan with a U.S. cosigner. You can also apply for financial aid in your province, and here is the website that will help you start that process for you. You can also apply for a line of credit at a private Canadian bank. You are also eligible for the work-study program. So as I mentioned, you can work up to 15 hours a week. This is not a loan, and you're actually working to earn funds towards your educational expenses. I want to talk about some fun stuff. And when I talk about scholarships, I get so excited. I get excited for students because this is literally free money that's available to you. We do have some institutional scholarships available at ICO. You do not have to apply for them. You will be notified during your time of acceptance when you receive your admissions letter, whether you will receive those scholarships available to you. So we have the Presidential Scholarship, which is awarded at half tuition. You do have to have a cumulative GPA of a 3.5 as an incoming student, also score a 350 or higher on your OATs, and maintain a cumulative GPA of a 3.4 for all 4 years in order to renew that scholarship. We have the Trustee Scholarship, which award amounts vary depending on funds given that particular year, and that is renewable with a 3.2 cumulative GPA. We have the Underrepresented Minority Scholarship, and this scholarship was established to encourage students from the underrepresented minority population to pursue a degree in optometry. This award is given at $7,000 per academic year. We also have the Illinois Scholarship. So in order to be eligible, you do have to be an Illinois resident and also plan on practicing in Illinois a year after graduation. This is awarded at $5,000 per academic year and renewable with a 3.0 cumulative GPA. So we keep track of over 100 public scholarships and awards. And again, I get super excited. I hope that prospective students and incoming students are just as excited as I am. We have so many opportunities for students. These scholarships are particularly for students who are getting their degree in optometry. So throughout the course of the year, I will send out emails to students when they become available. Some of them do have requirements that you have to meet, but if you are eligible, apply, 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 apply. Sometimes, in most cases, all you have to do is write an essay to be eligible. So I cannot stress it enough. I try to get students excited about it. Again, the more money you get, the less you'll have to pay out of pocket. So take full advantage of these opportunities. Also, don't be modest. I hear some students saying, well, I already applied for that one. It's okay. If you're eligible, apply. Because again, the more money that you get, then the less money you have to pay out of pocket towards tuition. So take full advantage of those opportunities. Here's also some outside resources and websites that will be helpful to you. So you have to do your part as well. So I hope that you take a look at these websites and utilize the outside resources that are available to you for scholarships, opportunities. Last thing that I feel like is so important to talk about from day one, as I mentioned, is loan repayments. I want to show you guys this quick video of what to expect in regards to repayment plans. So again, I think it's so important to start talking about loan repayments from day one. Most of us aren't thinking about paying back our student loans when we're in school, but it's a great idea to start talking about it. I'm happy to share with you all that I paid off my student loans. It's been 2 years now that I have not made a payment towards them. I've paid them off. So I like to share my personal experience, which was being proactive, having a game plan. I truly believe that the more you talk about it, the less anxiety you'll feel when it comes to paying back those loans. There's a great tool that you can also take a look at on the studentaid.gov website, and it's a repayment calculator. You'll put in some basic information such as where you're from and what your income will look like after you graduate. And it'll give you a breakdown of all of the repayment options that are available to you and what your monthly budget will look like. So I think it's so important to start having that conversation. You don't have to come in on your first day of class, but put it on your list of things to do. Some of the things that we'll talk about when you come into my office are what type of lifestyle do you want to live? What type of loan repayment do you want to get into, which will all affect the what type of practice do you want to get into, which will affect the type of loan repayment that you'll get into. So keep that in mind. I'm sorry about that. One thing that I think is that I also want to bring up is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. And this program is intended to encourage individuals to enter and continue to work full-time in public service job. And under this program, borrowers may qualify for forgiveness of the remaining balance of their direct loans after they have made 120 qualifying payments, that's 10 years, on their loans while employed full-time by certain public service employers. So again, let's have this conversation regarding repayments. Come into my office. We can sit down, talk about what your future plans look like. So important. I also want to share with you all some important websites. The studentaid.gov website is going to become your best friend when you are applying for financial aid. This is a website that you'll use when you're completing your FAFSA application, signing off your counseling session, entrance counseling session, signing your promissory documents. The ICO website will also become your best friend. The newly improved ICO website, which looks beautiful, by the way. So there's plenty of information for you as well. These are two great websites that you're going to become best friends with when you're attending ICO. Just to recap, so the steps for navigating financial aid, first step is applying for financial aid, completing your FAFSA application. You want to make sure that you get that application done as soon as possible. The sooner you get it done, the sooner we can prepare your award letter for you. When I receive your award letter, I can go through it with the fine-tooth comb. If any corrections need to be made, those can be made as well in a timely fashion. And also making sure that you complete your documents, sign off, complete your counseling sessions, and also complete all your promissory notes. It's important to seek scholarship opportunities. So do your part as well. I will help you. As I mentioned before, we do have access to over 100 outside scholarships. So apply. Help me help you give you this money. Also, start planning for loan repayments. It's never too early to start having that conversation. Again, I have an open door policy, and I will be more than happy to assist you and help walk you through the process. I want you to reach out. So as I mentioned before, the financial aid process can be a bit overwhelming, but I am here to help you step by step. Here is my information available to you. If you have any questions, if you'd like to set up a virtual meeting one-on-one, I'm more than happy to do so as well. Do not hesitate to reach out. So at this time, I would like to invite Angela. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
So as I mentioned before, she is a first-year student here at ICO. So she's recently gone through the financial aid process, right? So Angela, do you mind sharing with us what your process was like, what that looked like for you?
Yeah. So I think it's kind of very similar to like what you had explained earlier. I would say my biggest tip would be just start early. Right after you get accepted, like it's important just to start looking at all your options and filling out the FAFSA, talking to Lauren. I think the sooner that you do it, the better situation you're going to be in, because you're going to be getting so much stuff from school and from ICO that it might start to get confusing, and might as well just knock something out of the way.
Wonderful. Is there any other advice that you have for students, for prospective students and incoming students that may be helpful to them?
Maybe that work study can be really fun. There's lots of different opportunities, and you can learn more about the school just other than just the optometry base of it.
Wonderful. You actually utilize the work study program, right?
Yeah.
So working in the student affairs office is part of that too. So thank you so much, Angela, for sharing your process and those amazing tips, which I feel is so important, getting everything done as soon as possible, not waiting till the last minute, so that we can provide those funds for you as soon as possible. Do we have any questions that came in?
I don't think as of right now we do.
Okay. All right. So again, if you have any questions after this webinar, my information is available to you on our ICO website. You can email me at lbrooks@ico.edu. I will be more than happy to set up a one-on-one virtual meeting or answer any of your questions via email. I look forward to speaking to you all. I hope that you guys have a great journey through this financial aid process. I also hope that you guys are staying safe and well during this time. So again, don't hesitate to reach out, and thank you for joining us.